Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kinfolk and Nem with my kinfolk Greg, Brett, and Ish. I promise you, I know we keep
Yeah.
saying Napoleon gonna be here next week, but next week he will be back. Finally, he will be back. We are on a new day, Wednesday, Hump Day. Had to go ahead and change the schedule up just a little bit. Welcome back, guys. I know we missed last week episode, but we're back. How you guys been?
Refreshed.
Everything's good. Mental health good, body good, family good, y'all good. So everything's good.
I could second that, man. Everything is good. Been
Already.
blessed.
You already know if you are on Facebook watching us, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. Also, if you are on Twitter watching, you can go ahead and check us out on Twitter on my handle, xwilliams81 on Twitter. So, of course, the vice president debate is going on right now. We tuned in a little bit, but we have our own show, and we're going to tune into our own show right now. And I'm pretty sure, of course, if you haven't heard, the unfortunate death of Jonathan Price. It seems like I said before, with the George Floyd situation, it seems like at least once a month we have to talk about another black person getting killed. But here's the twist of this one, though. This young man was, of course, a police supporter. Now, here's the thing.
That's not a twist.
I mean, the twist is because usually a lot of people feel like black people don't like the police, right? That's the gist, right? Well, this is a gentleman that before he passed was a supporter of Blue Lives Matter and supporter of the of police officers and everybody else that risked their lives to, of course, help everybody out in this world. And he was minding his own business at a gas station, and he saw a domestic dispute. He went ahead and tried to break up the fight, and unfortunately, he didn't get shot and killed. He got tased first, and then got shot. So let's hear you guys' thoughts on it and how you guys feel about it.
Not everybody at once.
I think Brett
Um,
trying to go by his mic messing up. Go ahead and you go first, Ish.
I mean, I was just gonna say, for me, uh, I pray that his family, I pray healing for his family, for his friends, for his community. Um, it's unfortunate, man. It's another unfortunate event that yet again we have to be on the show talking about something like this. It's also unfortunate. Uh, it's unfortunate that it's going to get lumped into into this situation that we've been dealing with time and time again. If the reports I was reading are correct, he actually uh, helped resolve that situation before the cop even arrived. And then when the cop arrived, he was walking over to the cop and actually asking like how he was doing, trying to shake his hand before this situation happened. So, I mean, I don't know how it turned like that. I'm sure they said body cam was recording, so I'm sure we're gonna get another graphic video of somebody being slain for everybody to watch, which we don't need another one of those. So it's really unfortunate. It is terrible that it just continues to happen. I don't know what this situation is entirely. I'm still waiting for all the facts to come out, but either way, it's unfortunate. It's not something I really look forward to talking to when we have these shows. It's not something I want to even cover anymore because I'm getting tired of it.
Greg and Brett will be back in a second. Greg.
Uh, like Ishmael said a little bit on, just gotta wait for all the facts to come out and stuff like that. But just from what I've seen, he pretty much did everything right and still lost his life. That's pretty much what I got from it for the most part. It just sucks because I just hope they don't spin the narrative and try to bring up some stuff about his past or anything like that when on paper he He did everything right. He was a supporter of the police. Very highly, spoke highly of them. In the situation, de-escalated the situation, right? So, and yeah, he still lost his life. So it's just kind of one of those things where you think back, you think logically, you're just kind of like, dude, what can we do to like not get killed? We can be chilling, minding our own business, get killed. We can try to be a good person and de-escalate a situation, get killed. We can be sleep, get killed. So it's kind of like I don't. It's kind of like one of those things. Like it's just like I just don't know what to think of this as far as what can we do to like stop our situation. Stop these situations from us being put in these deadly situations where we're not really doing much to be killed, basically. So that's my thing. That's my take big on it. Prayers, peace, condolences, all that to the family, and hope justice is served. Dude got arrested. The officer got arrested, but getting arrested and getting convicted are two different things. So let's see what happens. That's all I can say about that.
Brett, you want to go ahead and chime in since you're back?
And you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can
can.
hear
Okay,
you
awesome.
now.
All right. I mean, I just, just like you said, it's unfortunate. All right. And it's just also, like you said, just every month, it feels like we're having the same conversations. This one, I guess, is a little bit different, only because, as you said, there's the twist, right? That he has supported police officers, in the past. I think the only thing that makes it different is like now they can't say that like that's the excuse. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse for this one.
No, they gonna still have an excuse. I mean,
Well,
from the article I read, they say that he was walking away from the officer. The officer was trying to detain him because he thought he was intoxicated, and then he was walking away. The officer told him he was gonna tase him. He tased him, and then he like grabbed the end of the officer's taser or something, and that's apparently when the officer shot him 4 times in his abdomen. I mean, I will not be surprised when we start hearing more and more about how he should have complied and how if you just
Oh, yeah.
listen to the officers, everything's gonna be all right. And that, I mean, trust me,
Now,
you're gonna hear it.
let's remember, this situation happened right here in the state that we're living in currently, it's Texas. We love this state. We love Texas. But it seems like certain things that go on, in the state that we love is very eye-raising because we all have white friends, right? And the state that you would hear from your white friends is that I don't know about your white friends, but I know from friends that I know that are white, they will say that more white people get killed by the police on a yearly basis. Am I correct? Let me finish what I'm about to say. So if they say that is the truth, y'all laughing, but what I'm getting at is
right.
I just want to see it happen. It seems like every week or every month, it seems like it's black people getting killed by the police, but we don't see any white people getting killed by the police. I understand it
I
might
don't know
not fit.
that I wanna see
I understand
that happen.
now.
That's what I was
That's not what I'm saying. See, look, that's y'all trying to not twist my look. Hold on. I'm not saying I want to see white people
Nobody's
get
listening
killed.
to your words.
What I'm saying is, if white
Nobody.
people are getting killed by the police, why are there no videos of it? And if there are, then show us. Because we
No, it
as
doesn't
black
fit
people,
the media's
but
narrative. It
I
doesn't fit the
understand
media's
that.
narrative.
But here's the thing: us as black people keep showing everybody that hey, we keep getting killed. We keep getting killed because of this, because of that. If we do the right things, we get killed. If we do the wrong things, we get killed. But of course, at the end of the day, people will say, well, if you look at statistics, white people get killed by the police more. That's what I'm getting at. So if that is the truth, then show us. That's all I want. That's look, y'all making faces. I'm serious. Like I just want to see it happen because it's messed up when you see if there's only 300 black people get killed and you see 295 of the black people throughout the year get killed, but there's 4,000 white people get killed a year by police, but you don't see any of it. I just want to see it because again, if you're saying that the stats are true, where is this happening? Where is this going on at? But because I'm assuming people will say because it doesn't fit the the narrative of the media is why it doesn't get pushed. Okay, if that is the case, then again, I'm gonna have to look at my white friend counterparts and look at them and say, well, why do you keep looking at the media? Why do you keep digesting the BS that they spill out?
Because it's entertainment.
So, well, that's the part that we're getting at. It seems like, unfortunately, black people are just here in the United States for people's entertainment.
I mean,
history have shown that, right? I
Well,
talked about it a couple episodes ago. Like, I used to watch, the the slaves, and everybody in the town would watch. It's pretty much the same thing in present day. You go on social media, you go on YouTube, you can watch. You can go on YouTube and still watch Eric Garner's killing when he got choked out. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just entertainment. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to speak like entertainment is like a good thing, but it obviously is a bad thing in this situation. But it's entertainment, unfortunately.
yeah, so I want to be very careful about what we're saying here because I while I understand the sentiment that you're saying, X, and what you're trying to say, I don't want to see any of these videos, to be honest. I don't want to have to see any black people get killed. I want to have to see anybody get killed, period. By the police, by anybody. I don't want to see these videos. I think we have too many of these videos circulating online. We're seeing them way too often. I don't want to have to see this. Also, to the statement of the statistics, yeah, I mean, the statistics are out there. White people are killed more often by the police. That is what the stats say. That is what is often brought up when people are disputing Black Lives Matter and things like that. I mean, those are the stats. Okay. Also, what comes up in counter along with that, people will say, okay, but what about black on black crime, which is just an ignorant statement because there's no such thing as black on black crime. There's a such thing as crime in the black community. That I want to be very careful about us trying to pull numbers out and start arguing about numbers and then saying we want to see more evidence of this because really when it comes down to the root of it, we just want a system that is being just, that we don't have people out there feeling like they are judge, jury, and executioner and just going out and killing people. I think the rate of incidents we have with the police are way too high. I think there are some situations where we don't necessarily need to have police engaged in. We need to have, maybe some therapists, some other people involved, social workers, so on and so forth. And I think the police should be handling situations that are very serious because they are trained. And I would just hope that when they do respond to these situations, that they are able to de-escalate the situations and handle the situations to the best of their ability without losing lives. Like that is really what I think a lot of people want. I think that's where people are saying they want to go. I just want us to be clear about what we're saying because I don't want anybody to take it as what you're saying, which again, I understand you're saying.
yeah.
I don't want anybody to take
Not saying that I want white people to get killed. That's not what I'm saying, people. I'm just saying at the end of the day, if that is what you're throwing out, and just to go back to what you just said, Ish, Black Lives Matter. Where all the All Lives Matter group at, people? Where they at?
Too busy arguing about Black Lives Matter.
Somebody tell me where All Lives Matters at. Okay. No. It's because anytime people bring up Black Lives Matter, that's the only reason why people bring up All Lives Matter is to denounce Black Lives Matter. That's the only reason why they do that. They don't bring it up any other time. They do it again because of Black Lives Matter. Period.
I was pretty much about to say the same thing, but yeah. You cut me off while I was talking.
Well, I was in my spiel, so you cut me off.
I do think
really.
though.
Not really.
I guess my last little piece to this is. So, how do you guys feel like with situations like this? The conversation becomes defunding the police.
We live in Texas. They ain't gonna defund the police.
Well,
Austin has already defunded the police.
My bad. We live in bigger cities. Austin don't count. They their own little bull crap city, but yeah.
That's it. The state
Austin's a
capitol?
top 10
I don't
largest
count.
city.
We don't count Austin. I got my own personal. I got my own personal feelings about Austin. We'll talk about
The
that another
state
day.
That's
capitol?
a top 10. I think they're
You
number
don't count
8
the
or
state
number
Shut
capitol?
7.
up! Shut up! Go, Brett.
How you not? But anyways, I think
Stupid.
instead of defunding the police, I think we should reinvest in terms of more training, in terms of the de-escalation training.
See, my bad to cut you off, Brett. See,
Good.
again, shout out to our Twitter watchers because apparently these are the people we talk about. All lives matter. I don't know
All
what
lives
what
do
he's saying.
matter.
Matter do. How about African American police their communities? Well, see again, that's the thing that we talk about. Ish, we talking about a guy that doing the right thing gets shot by the police, but people want to talk about how about African American police their community. What is that? That's what you are doing.
I
You're
mean,
pretty much trying to again turn the narrative into what we're talking about right now, to turn the narrative into something else, which is not. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about this one incident, and you want to talk about how about the black community, police your communities. How about you worry about your own community? How about that?
well, I mean, sure. Here's my thing. If you are genuine in this is my beef with that whole sentiment right there. Is a lot of these people aren't genuine when they're saying, "How about African Americans police their community?" or they bring up what they like to say, "black on black
Black
crime."
on black crime. Yeah.
Like they don't actually genuinely care about these communities. They're just doing that as just a way to deflect the conversation and not actually address the situations that we have at hand. Now, this man of war 760. I hear what you're saying. I have a lot of people that say that same thing. I would say if you do your research, there are a lot of African Americans that are out there trying to do right in their community. They are trying to educate. They are trying to help people in certain situations. They're trying to help kids get off the streets, help to keep them busy, help them get them in extracurricular activities. Like if you do the research, there are people out there doing these things that people like to say, well, why don't you do this? There are plenty of people in these communities trying to do it. It is our responsibility as a nation all together to work together to make sure that everybody in our country, all people, no matter what race, no matter what your economic standing is, get a fair shot. That's all that it needs to be.
So why would they do that though?
Go. I want to hear Greg got to say. What, Greg? What's up?
So just to piggyback off Ish's point about us policing our own communities and stuff like that, and there's organizations and groups out there that's doing that. Like when I went to Chicago last year, obviously Chicago, that's the number one city people bring up when they talk about African Americans killing each other and all that stuff, right? When I went out there, there was a strike going on because there wasn't enough funding going into the schools, right? These schools have no air conditioning, terrible condition, stuff like that, right? Fortunate enough for us, we grew up in Cyprus. We went to Langham. Langham was in Cyprus, nice school for the most part, right? But you have people out there, like the kids that go out there to go to schools, they're not in good condition. So, and obviously, unfortunately, these schools are in the African American communities. So the teachers going on strike, trying to make sure, like, hey, we want to keep these kids off the street as much as we can, but we're keeping them off the streets, but we're putting them in more terrible conditions in these schools. So it's just a classic example of, okay, we're doing the best that we possibly can to make sure our communities are good, right? And that's obviously a fight within itself. We don't need another fight dealing with other ethnicities and dealing with other people trying to bring those communities down as well. So we're fighting a fight regardless in our own communities and outside of our communities. Like a lot of people don't have to deal with that, the stuff we have to deal with. It's an ongoing fight for us. And a lot of people don't realize that because they're focused on their upbringing and they don't have enough cultural awareness to understand, like, look, Black people have our fight within ourselves and outside of that. It's a lot to deal with. And a lot of people don't think logically when they give that rebuttal on, oh, well, what about Chicago? Y'all need to worry about our communities. We are. We need help in dealing with our communities as well. And we need help with other people looking at us and looking at our communities as well. It's a double-edged sword. To make a long story less long, it's a double-edged sword. What you want us to do?
At the end of the day, Greg, they don't care. Like I just want everybody to understand and realize when people say things like that, they're just saying that because again, they a lot of people that have never lived in the African American community, but want to have their opinion on things that need to be done there. Like I don't understand that. That's like me living in the city having an opinion on what you should do and living out in a rural area like Conroe. I don't live out
really
there.
think, I don't even think it's a like you have to live there kind of thing. I just think it's
I
a
mean,
genuine care, like a genuine
look,
care.
but
Like, do you
Ish, no,
genuinely
I,
care, or you
That's
just
all
saying
it is.
that?
Cultural
but this is what I'm
awareness.
saying though, Ish. But this is what I'm saying though, Ish. I think that's bullcrap because at the end of the day, if you care that much, then go live in that area and go help it and go help rebuild it. How about that? Go put your money where your mouth is and go do what you need to do to go help rebuild a community. Because again, it's easy to say that when you're living in the woodlands. It's easy to say that when you're living in the sugarland. It's easy to say that those things when
I
you're living out a
wouldn't.
nice home.
I don't necessarily agree with
I
that.
hear.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I
no,
hear what
no,
you're
no.
saying,
I,
and that is a big argument that a lot of people have.
I
I hear
actually,
what you're saying.
I agree
Go.
with X because there is a movie I can't think of the movie name right now, but it was like this white dude or whatever. He went and lived in these these bad conditions that black people unfortunately were living in, and he had a better understanding of dude. I didn't know it was this bad. I can't think of the movie or the documentary
But
name
look
right now,
though, Greg, that's the
but
only way anybody is able to experience anything. You have
that
to personally experience
exactly,
something. Like
exactly. Thank
period.
you.
How are you going to be?
I'm
How are you
agreeing
going
with
to
you.
have? Seriously, how are you going to have a say so in the black community when you only go to Third Ward to go eat? When you go to Third Ward to go eat French's chicken, and you
I
see
understand.
a black crackhead, and you say, oh well, I don't need to be in this area because of black crackhead. There's white crackheads. There's Hispanic crackheads. Okay, so there's Asian crackheads. So the thing that I'm getting at is, it's a shame to me that the black community gets poked at and picked at all the time for everything that's bad, and anytime it's something good, it always has. We have to find. People have to find a way to be like, oh well, even though the turkey leg hut, is on fire. Well, what about all the smoke that comes out? Oh, are you serious? Like they smoking turkeys. What do you think all the smoke is for? Like it's just one of those things where we damned if we do, we damned if we don't. And that's a situation that happened with Jonathan Price, and it's very unfortunate. And Brett, you want to wrap it up for us before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I want to slightly disagree with you only because I don't think you have to live there. Now, I do agree you have to experience.
That's what I was
You have,
getting at with the movie. I can't think of it right now, but the
yeah,
white dude
I
was living in there for a short period of time, and he realized, like, dude, I didn't know it was that bad.
Okay, I got a question. I got a rebuttal. I got a rebuttal for that, Brett.
good.
Your dad was
Sorry
in the
to cut you off,
military.
bro.
Yes, sir.
You never been in the military, but you know about it because because you're your father, right?
And my family, yes.
Okay, but again, you've never been in it. So
No,
all you know is the experiences that your father would tell you or that you've seen maybe being on base, but you yourself never experienced it, correct?
no, I have never personally been inside of the military. No, sir.
So you as an individual can't say what goes on in the military because you as an individual and that personally put yourself in there. That is my case, and
But
that's how I feel about this type of situation. That's all.
but,
That's all.
but I also can rebuttal that because like my best friends like you have been in there and you have told me how
You
things
shared
are
your
or
experiences. Yeah.
Okay, just like
you said
your
your
father, but again, you didn't go through.
but I don't
But you
it
don't.
doesn't
And
matter.
again, I can.
He can
But here's
show
the thing, though. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap this up before we go to the next topic. This is what I'm getting at. I can tell y'all my experience, but guess what? You don't care because you're gonna go
That's
right.
not true.
Let me explain.
That's
Let me
not
explain.
true.
Let me explain. Let me
Okay,
explain. Let me
okay,
explain.
go ahead,
Because you're gonna go right back to your regular life and day and go back into
That,
whatever
not
y'all
true.
go to. Y'all don't. Yeah, at the end of the day,
No,
me and
you
Napoleon
threw me
went
off with
through.
they
Me and
don't care.
Napoleon
yeah,
went through our own
yeah,
personal
yeah.
experiences in the military
Okay,
that
can I
we
just, can I just say
go.
this? Let me just say this. Okay, that's like sitting here. My mom is from a developing country, right? That they went through over a decade long civil war, right? My grandma went through it. My cousins went through it. My cousin, one of my very close cousins, was a child soldier in that war, right? He has shared stories about his experiences with us, and I'm talking about moving stories. Like he was in the newspaper when he finally was able to come over in the Houston Chronicle because it was such a big story that they were able to get him out of that situation and get him over after being a child soldier, right? He shared that experience with me. For your basically what your logic is that like because I was not there in the Civil War, I don't care about the Civil War, or I don't care about what it did to him. I don't care about the effects it had on him. But that's far from the truth, because that is somebody that I love and I care about, because that is somewhere where my that I'm invested in. My family is from there. Like, I love them. I know what they want. I want the best for them. I want to understand them. I want to understand where they come from. So because of that love and that care, I'm able to empathize with them and understand what effects that had on them and take from that. It is not necessarily true that you have to experience something firsthand to try to understand or put yourself in somebody's shoes and understand their situation. Again, it goes back to, do you genuinely care for people and want the best for people, or are you using it as a tool to help your argument or deflect you because you don't want to defend your argument? Like, that's what it comes down to for me. All these people who are Christians out here, I'm looking at all y'all out there that are claim y'all are Christians, claim y'all want the best for people. Y'all want to go to church on Sunday and send missionaries to the Trinidad, or send missionaries to Africa, Kenya, and all that nonsense. Take pictures with all the little kids starving, and then you want to come back, post it on your Facebook, and you got 50 pictures of kids starving, and you like, oh, well, we went to go help them and feed them and this, that, and the third. Do you genuinely care about people, and you're willing to listen to people and their stories and try to understand them? Or are you somebody that is going to hide behind a political party or one political whatever your political standing is, because you got one issue that's your political issue that you support? Are you somebody that you hide behind that, or you genuinely care about people? Like, that's what it comes down to the end of the day. I'm not saying you got to go vote for Biden. I'm not saying you got to go be liberal. I'm not saying you got to be middle of the road libertarian. I'm not saying you can't be conservative or you got to be conservative. I'm talking about at a individual level. Do I care about people and want to have the best for people? Like, that's what it comes down to. It's not, I got to experience it. Like, X, what you're saying, I get what you're saying about experiencing it firsthand, but it doesn't have to be that. It really just comes down to, do people care about other people?
Well, the good thing about it is an opinion, and we have our opinions. It's 2-2 on this topic. It is what it is, and let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, because we got a little bit carried away on that last topic. So, speaking of people that got carried away, apparently President Trump beat COVID-19 in just 3 days. Hey man, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like we have a very strong president with a strong immune system that was able to get past this strong virus with his strong diet of potato chips and soda. And if our president is able to get through this virus with his strong immune system, I think every American can go ahead and get past it. And then, hey, nobody has to sit out for 2 weeks, though. No more 14-day quarantine. All you gotta do is sit out for 3 days, right? That's what it's looking like. So, you guys' thoughts? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this.
You literally set us up for failure after that.
I know, man.
That's what the report said. Hey, beat it in 3 days. Was able to ride off in a limo and wave to his supporters, and he's at home working hard for the American people. That was where the video of the pictures that I've seen, and hey, that's what they want to share to the people.
I don't even know how to answer that. Like how you set that up. I don't.
I'll just say, I guess the treatment that he received, no more than like 10 people have received that treatment, like that experimental drug cocktail or whatever, before he got it. So
it was a cocktail?
It's something like it's a cocktail of drugs or something like that. You can go do your research. Don't take my word as gospel. I'm pretty sure I read a couple articles about it, but they're saying, like, I'm pretty sure it was no more than 10 people or no more than 15 people had that treatment yet when he got it. So my only beef with this situation, I was not wishing horrible for that man, because I don't wish horrible on anybody. But my beef was, as the president of the country, for you to come out and make statements about like how, oh, there's nothing to be scared of. Oh, I beat it. Now he's saying it was like God sent that he got the virus or something and turning it into some political thing, like he had to do it as the president and fight it off for the American people. Like, my thing is, it is completely insensitive as the president to come out and make those statements when there are over 200,000 Americans who have
And
died
counting.
from and counting who have died from this virus. Like, if you had just come out and you had been like, I got amazing treatment. I thank the doctors for their amazing treatment. It was great. It was world class. You know, I was lucky enough to get this, and showed some humility and been humble about it. Cool. But what he has done for me is disgusting, bruh, because it shows to me a lack of just care for those Americans and those families who have lost family members to this virus.
Well, before our next person talk about it, Christine Robichaux, she says, "Do you guys think he really had it, or was it a hoax to say he
I was
had
trying to
it
avoid
and
that.
it wasn't that bad?" Because I've heard reports about that. I mean, I've heard people say that as well when it comes to,
I've heard it.
because when COVID first kicked off, let's remember back in March, they were saying if you get it, you had to be quarantined for 2 weeks. Am I wrong?
I mean, that's been the standard since March. It hasn't changed.
Okay, so now that we've moved forward, because we're not going to just talk about President Trump, because this also is in the sporting world as well too. When it comes to people like Cam Newton getting it, or Stephon Gilmore with this Patriots, or of course the whole outbreak that's going on with Tennessee Titans, it seems like Cam Newton, he only had to sit out for a couple of days, and he's able to play next week. So again, is it what Ish is talking about? Is it the cocktail that everybody's getting? Is only certain folks able to get this that us regular American folks can't get? Like what's going on? Because it's a lot of stuff that is just weighing in the balance that we don't know how to really deal with right now.
I think this situation just pretty much, sheds the light on the fact that the rich has more access to things than us regular folk have. I think that's what I get from it. I can't really speak on if the man had it or not. I believe he did, but I'm not going to get mad if somebody wants to debate me on it if he didn't have it. I'm not going to be mad at that. I think that's a good conversation to have. But my point, the general point I'm trying to make is that he obviously had, what Ish pointed out, that he had this cocktail type of treatment done to him. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make sure everything possible that this dude didn't die from it, right? Because again, he's an elderly type of guy. He's up there in age. So based on the ages of the people that's been dying, it's been older people, basically. So what this proves to me is that the rich have access to things that us regular folk don't have. It is what it is. Especially with these athletes, they have access to things that we don't have. Same situation. So that's what I get from it. The rich get everything, and the poor or the regular folk, middle class, what they like to call it, we just got to figure it out. We're smart. We're gonna have to figure it out. That's basically what it tells me.
And just let you guys know, we have a very special guest joining the show right quick. Birthday boy Sire is in the building. Thank you for joining us, and I'm happy you joined at the right time. Of course, we're talking about President Trump. We'll take care of that after the show. After the show, we'll tell him happy birthday after the show's over.
Please don't.
Please don't. Hold up.
Thank you. I appreciate you, fellas. No.
Thank you. All right. So, Sire, would you like to comment on this Trump situation being COVID in just 3 days?
Wait. So that's the story? He beat it in 3 days?
That's the story right now.
Okay, so A, that this nigga even have it in the first place. That's the first part. Because it might have just been a sympathy play. B, what makes him so special that he can beat the shit in 3 days at 70 fucking, how old is he? Like 76 or whatever?
74.
74. Isn't that like the terminal group of COVID? Like they don't make it?
I mean, it's depending on your underlying conditions.
Well, he probably got a whole hell of a lot of underlying conditions. I mean, white men with hatred in their heart age like raisins in the sun. So, that's just a whole other thing. But me personally, man, I seen it. I didn't really listen to it. At this point in my life, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not watching the news because they're not informing us. It's basically
entertainment.
It's entertainment. It's the same thing as the Young and the Restless. You know what I'm saying? And for us to get Well, not us, but I think for the
Y'all got
You
the
ain't
rest
getting no rest.
consider entertainment to you? I don't know.
I don't watch it. My mom's watching, but I'm
My
That's
just
mom,
bad
my mom watch it too, though.
Hey,
I understand.
yeah.
Nebraska went
Terrible.
hard back in the day. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
some
When I was
terrible acting
off
on
from
them soap
school,
operas.
when I was sick, I used to watch it with my
Greg,
mom.
No,
Greg,
we
I
watching
agree.
Wheel of Fortune over here, guys. We watching Wheel of
Yeah,
Fortune.
we
Price
watch
is
Wheel of
Right,
Fortune.
bruh.
Yeah, Price is
It's
Right.
All right, back to the
terrible
topic. Back to the topic,
terrible
please.
acting on
To
them.
each other, you know what I'm saying? My
I ain't
bad.
gonna
Terrible.
hold you. I'm watching Toonami over all that all day. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
feel that. I feel that. We
I
ain't
mean,
had
as far
cable.
as yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Trump, man, honestly, I think my initial response was, okay, this is a sympathy play. Okay, he's having a debate. People are pissed because he's like, you're not getting stimulus, so that's already his actual supporter. What do they call it? Fan base or voter base, whatever. They're not happy about not getting that stimulus because they broke just like niggas, even though they think they're better. You know what I'm saying, so that's kind of a thorn in the side. And then it's like, oh, well, man, have some compassion. Where's your heart at? Where's our leader, our great leader? He's. Come on, guys. Let's all together for Trump. Let's pull in. First of all, fuck him. I hope he dies. That's on fire. That's not the opinion of
Oh
anybody else.
Lord,
That's not the
That
opinion
don't
of
represent
anybody
everybody's
else.
opinion.
You know what I'm
please,
saying?
Just
please. That's on
FYI,
sire. That is it.
That's how I feel.
disclaimer,
You know what I'm saying?
everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to their own opinion.
Facts.
Keyword their own. That is
Their
not a
own. You know what I'm
group think.
saying?
That's not a
Oh
group
my
think.
That's
goodness.
not groupthink at all. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a
And I'm
group
not.
think.
Oh my
That's
That's
on
not a
tape
goodness.
too.
groupthink.
That's on tape.
Oh fucking well, because I'm not scared to die for what I believe. So that's just
Oh
how I
Lord.
feel. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm not trying to get canceled, bro.
Wow,
should
this
I
took a turn
should I
quickly.
scale it back? Get a little bit. I'm sorry, I still hype off the food and all that.
You
You
know what I'm
good?
saying?
You
It's his
good, birthday
birthday,
boy?
man.
Calm
He
down. You
hype, he
I
good?
hype
understand. I
right now.
understand. But
He hype right now.
honestly, I think it's a political ploy. I think it's something that they want to galvanize people to stay in support of him in the midst of all his continuous long lines of fuck ups. And I think it's gonna work. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I have zero like the American public at this point. I have so little faith in them. Like the credit that I'm willing to give the average civilian that I see out here, pretty much until people show me that they're not like just mentally just base. I'm assuming that I'm dealing with a grown ass fourth grader. You know what I'm saying? Because
Well,
that's how I used to go.
the thing that I like about social media is that it keeps receipts.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing to me is, again, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, they have the vice president debate going on right now, and just a week ago we had the presidential debate. Am I wrong? We had
Yeah.
Trump and Biden. Right? We had them two
First one, right?
facing off against each other, and yeah, the first one, presidential debate, and what we all saw. Am I tripping? It kind of seemed like Trump was punking Biden. Anything
Of
Biden
course.
tried to do, he tried to shut that down. He tried to fake news him pretty much throughout the whole debate. Am I wrong? Right? Okay. So now what I see on social media right now, a lot of people are upset, and I'll say the Republican side are upset with Miss Harris because of the way that she's going at Pence, saying that she's a bully, saying that she's a that. And the only question I have is, nobody had a problem with it last week when Trump was doing that to Biden, but now you have a problem with Harris doing it to Pence. I mean, everybody see the hypocrisy in this.
And that's to be expected because
That's politics.
yeah, it's
Well, yeah,
politics, but
that
it's
too.
also the personality of. I mean, think about the personality of a Trump, right? And like him being who he was is what got him, in the
Where he's
seat.
at.
It's what got him the
Oh yeah.
job. It's what has people blindly following him and injecting Clorox into their arms because he can do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? So he gets points for doing that. Kamala Harris is otherwise unproven. I mean, my personal thing with Kamala Harris, big on her and how she was handling a lot of situations out there in Cali when she was whatever she was. But that's not her MO to be out there and try to punk people for position. And she has to play the civil game, so to say. I don't really know uh, any other way to describe that. So she's not gonna get points for that. It's like if you're Roy Jones Jr., you're gonna win that fight being Roy Jones. You're not gonna win the fight trying to be Mike Tyson. That's what he does. That's not what you do. So does that make sense?
It makes you gotta stick with your own style. I understand where you're coming from with the
Right.
fighting reference. So
Right.
yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up this topic because again, we won't know until another week or two because from what we also heard, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but what I definitely heard is that apparently he don't want to give out another round of stimulus checks until he get reelected again. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where it's just, hey, I don't know about y'all, but I already see Trump winning this year because of
He ain't
just
going
how
nowhere. He ain't
he not because of the way he has America hostage right now. It's just I don't see.
hostage.
I just it is what it is. So. All right, let's go ahead and wrap. Start off with the NBA Finals recap. Speaking of holding people hostage, LeBron James got Jimmy Butler a little hostage right now when it comes to this 3-1 lead that they have over yesterday's game. It was a lot closer than a lot of people thought. Definitely, the Heat definitely could have tied up the series going into Game 5, but going into Game 5, you guys think the Lakers gonna go ahead and wrap up, or see a Game 6?
That was a terrible segue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you mean by hostage
Fucking
there?
ass. That was so ass.
Okay. All
That
right.
I was gonna ask you, what do you mean by LeBron
That
holding Jimmy
was
Butler
so
hostage?
ass. Oh my god, bro.
All right.
Greg is not
We're
impressed.
gonna answer the
No.
question
I'm
or
just,
no?
I'm just,
It wasn't
I'm
a
just.
question. There's not a question mark, so it's not a
No,
question.
I forget.
Are the
Greg,
Lakers
I'm
gonna wrap
asking,
it up in Game 5, or are they going to play a Game 6? That was the question.
I'm
forget
gonna leave
all
it to
that.
y'all who are still gullible enough to think that it's not rigged.
I'm just
Greg,
trying to understand what you mean by LeBron holding
Okay.
Jimmy Butler hostage.
lockdown defense. Is that what he? That's the
Look
I
at
think
him.
lockdown
Look at
defense,
him
right?
emotional. Look at him emotional.
That's pretty much what I meant. But
I
again,
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't. I
I
guess we was
think
gonna. I thought we was gonna use our critical thinking skills, but I guess
no.
not.
I
So
just because
you know,
last game he dropped 40. So I'm trying to see what you mean by hostage.
that was Game 3. I was talking
Okay,
about Game
2 games.
4. I was talking about Game 4.
Wow.
See what happens when your Spurs not in the playoffs? You just forget about basketball. I see.
No, I obviously know they're up 3-1, but I'm asking you. You're talking about in general. He's holding him hostage and talking about lockdown defense, but he dropped 40 the other night. So, what do you? I don't see that as holding him hostage.
You go, Brett. Brett always got that one time in the
Always,
segue.
always,
No, I'm just trying to
just
understand. I
always, bro.
understand.
Like, god
I
damn, answer the
understand.
question.
I understand they're
Greg,
up
Ish,
3-1, and I
sorry,
think they're gonna
somebody
win.
besides
I think
Brett,
they're gonna win.
please.
I think they're gonna win in 5.
Oh my god,
If
thank
I'm
you.
being honest,
May I
they
have the
should win
floor,
in 5.
gentlemen?
It
May
should
I
have
have
been
the
a
floor,
sweep.
gentlemen? Brett Reese, can I have the floor?
It should have been a sweep.
Can I have the floor?
It should have been a sweep.
The Lakers are going to win Game 5.
As they should.
LeBron's going to get his 4th ring. That's pretty much all I got from it. X, I know you're a Lakers fan. You have the Lakers jersey behind you, Mr. LeBron James. Congrats to you being a Lakers fan and holding it down as long as you have. Been down
Y'all,
since
y'all know me. Y'all
please,
know me since high
please,
school. Y'all know
please
me
read
since high
Christine's
school, so
comment.
y'all know. Yes, Christine says okay, but is it going to a Game 6 or not, guys? Thank you, Christine.
No, it's not.
I was answering that, Christine, but okay.
It's
But
not. It shouldn't.
shout out to X. X been down since the days of Ryan Kelly being in the starting lineup.
Since day one,
Uh,
son. Since day one.
Yep, yep. I
Bum
was
ass
cracking
lineup.
up.
Yeah.
Yep. But hey, them days are over with. Ryan Kelly is probably working in corporate America somewhere. But yeah. Shout out to Lakers. They're gonna win Game 5. I think they're gonna win Game 5. So
Honestly, I think I agree. I kind of feel like I don't know where Ish was gonna go with the rig giant. Y'all know the book Allen Iverson released talking about how the officials call plays to make games. I don't know if that's where he's going. I just think that it would be a great storyline for the city of Los Angeles following the tragic death of one of their giants, Kobe Bryant, to then have a championship be brought back to the city in honor of him by way of LeBron, but then earning his home team this because I haven't forgot how niggas LA was shitting on LeBron vicious when he joined. You know what I'm saying? But if he wins the championship this year, especially considering everything the city's been through, I think it's very storyline. It's very storybookish, you know. And I don't think that he can fuck with him honestly. And I fuck with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, of course, a
Mamba
hometown hero out here in Tomball region. He likes to make sure people say that he's from Tomball and not from Houston. So,
It's a big difference. But
oh, it is. It definitely is. So he wants to make sure people know he's from Tomball. So
do y'all think they were in the Mamba jerseys?
they are actually wearing
They
the
are.
Mamba jerseys.
Yeah.
It's been confirmed that they will wear
Yeah,
them.
they are wearing the Mamba jerseys. They have not lost in the Mamba jerseys. So this not better be the one that y'all lose. LeBron, I'm looking right at you, son. Y'all,
This
LeBron and
not
AD.
better be the one
LeBron, this
y'all
better
lose.
not be the day. I tell you right, it better not be the day, Ish. Y'all losing the damn Mamba jerseys Game 5, we're gonna have some problems. And don't let it go to Game 6. Cause if it go, it's not gonna go to Game 6. I don't know.
It's not.
It's not. It's over with. It's over with
It
tomorrow.
shouldn't.
So, anyways, that topic is over with. Let's go ahead and wrap up week 4. Of the
Actually, I
NFL.
wanted to say something before we
What's
went
up?
to the next topic.
What's up?
It sucks that they're gonna win tomorrow, but LA is pretty much shut down. Just you can't do much because of COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah. No parade, none of that.
None of that shit.
Yeah.
None of that. No parties. None of that shit. That's just
Maybe
dumb.
for y'all, but I'm gonna fly out to LA. We gonna have an outdoors party. I'm be like, hey, we gonna be hey.
Woman at Rona if you
I'm
want
a
to.
I'm a crip walk on Slauson Bio. Be with out there with
Crip
Nip
walk
and
into
shit.
that Rona, too.
Y'all
Please
ready?
don't.
Hey,
Into
it's
that
all
Rona,
Please.
too.
it's all good.
Wait. Please don't take your ass to Sauce and Crib Dance. Don't do it.
Been
Don't
there,
do it.
been there, done that last year. Already too late. Got pictures too.
All right, man. All right. I'm saying.
But anyways, like I said, let's go ahead and wrap up the NFL Week 4. Greg, you are a Texan fan. Unfortunately, you guys are 0-4 right now, lost to the Vikings. How do you feel about that game?
Deshaun Watson tried to do everything that he could to win the game, and then obviously the defense got worn out. The secondary is very questionable. I'm not gonna say questionable. They're trash right now.
Yeah.
Right now, they're trash. Things can get better. I try to be as optimistic as I possibly can. Things get better. You start from the bottom, you work your way up, but the secondary is not that good. And Deshaun Watson, obviously, we traded away DeAndre Hopkins, so our receivers can't get open. When you give away a Pro Bowl receiver, and you left with what we got. That's what happened. So
But they got Randall Cobb though.
Who?
Randall Cobb. He's 16 million guaranteed this year.
I know who he is, but he
It's
ain't
a lot of
shit.
money.
He ain't
Hey,
shit.
I'm just
bro.
saying. They
Can
paid
I-
him a lot of money.
Can I
What's up, sir?
interject real quick? You know what I'm saying? Because Greg is the only resident Houston fan here. Am I right?
For the most part, Brett don't really have a favorite football team.
I don't.
Ish
you live in
has
Dallas.
two
Like you
teams.
should be biased from them. All right, but
No,
anyways,
I'm not.
Ish has two teams.
I was just gonna say on the topic of trying to be optimistic, thinking about the Texans in general because I've been watching the situation. So they fired the coach / GM, and then
Yeah, sorry
next
to I'm a bad. I don't want to cut you off, but we are going to talk about that in the next topic. So if you want to save all that, you can go ahead and save all that for the next topic. Okay, all right. So we'll go ahead and say that for the next topic.
But
Greg,
no.
listen.
But you doing the Texas thing, but what I really want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, man. Oh my God, the
Yes.
Buffalo
And
fucking Bills.
that's what I was actually going to
Wow.
bring up as well. Are there any teams that you guys have seen that have surprised you? Are there any teams after 4 weeks that have let you down that you thought were going to play well and they haven't played to your expectations?
The Buffalo Bills. Oh my God, I'm gonna go on record and say the Texans are not making the playoffs. So the Buffalo Bills are my bandwagon team this year. I like
Okay.
Josh Allen. I love the way Josh Allen's playing right now. I love the way
Interesting.
he's playing.
Interesting. That's a very interesting statement there, sir.
It is.
Yeah. I think.
me and-
Go ahead. Okay,
My bad to cut you off. Me and Ish
Okay.
also, of course, if you watch the Sports Plug, we do our weekly recap of the NFL season, and we definitely did talk about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills is a team that I have been keeping eyes out on for the last couple of years because my Tennessee Titans have had to play them the last couple of years, and we've lost to them. So every year I've watched them progress and get better, and Josh Allen is a guy that a lot of people probably still not sold on, probably don't really care for him that much. But, of course, besides Lamar Jackson in that quarterback class, he's probably the best quarterback after Lamar Jackson. I move him above Baker Mayfield and those other quarterbacks that's in that draft class because of the things that he's able to do with his arm and his legs as well. I mean, some of the runs that he's been able to make, it's been pretty outstanding, especially this year. He ran over Van Noy in one of the games that they played. Like, that's a grown man linebacker. So, I think for the Buffalo Bills, the sky is the limit for them as long as they, of course, can stay healthy and as long as they can start off with winning the division, getting a home playoff game, and then moving up from there. You have to start there first. The Patriots are not the Patriots that they are now but in the beginning when they were, first had Brady. They weren't, of course, killing everybody. They had to work year in and year out to get the type of dominance that they are in right now. So we'll see what happens with the Bills. Brett, you got anybody for us?
I do. I'm okay. So I'm gonna go with the surprise. For me, is two teams. One is the Browns.
Browns.
I am surprised by the Browns. I'm surprised by the Browns because, as of now, they're actually living up to expectations. That's what I said. I did say for now. When in the past, even though they had the expectations, they were still bum, trash, bum.
When was the last time the Browns had expectations before last year?
And last year don't. Yeah, I was like last year don't count. I'm trying to figure out the same thing.
Well, I'm saying I was referring to last year. Last time they had
Okay.
expectations.
Okay.
Last year, right? And then my second team is honestly the Bears. I'm surprised they're 3-1.
If anything, I thought you were going to say like what Ish said yesterday was we're surprised that you made a quarterback change at being 3-0, and then you make the quarterback change and lose the week after. It's kind of like,
it speaks to how undeserved that record is.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying.
I'll say that. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not surprised by the NFC East. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if Christine's still watching, but
I hope she is, because them Eagles, they ain't flying high right now.
Hey, man, they're in first place right now, though.
You said what?
They're in first place.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a whole lot, though.
Hey,
it's not
technically they
saying
are.
That's a playoff
Don't mean no
spot.
lot.
Why not? That's a playoff spot.
Not after 4 weeks, sir. We still got 13 more left.
I'm just saying, being in first place is a playoff spot, so it means a lot.
We'll see what happens after week 17.
Sure.
All right, you got
start.
any couple teams for us before we go on to the next topic? And it looks like Christina is definitely checking out the show. She has the little cry face.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What up, Chris?
She'll be all right. She'll be all right.
Shout out to Christine. We love you.
one team that y'all didn't mention real quick that I do want to shine a light on is the good old Houston Oilers. Man, they're still doing their thing. They are undefeated. People forgot because they didn't play this past week.
What?
But
He's talking about the Tennessee Titans.
the Houston Oilers, yeah,
The COVID-19 Titans. The COVID-19 Titans.
the Houston Oilers are still undefeated. I have picked them to win the AFC South. I think people aren't really paying attention to them, but you should be, because everybody knows that come playoff time, nobody wants to face Derrick Henry. And I don't care who you are, if this team continues to play the way that they are playing now, and Ryan Tannehill continues to be the quarterback that he has been shown to be so far, it could be real scary. The only team that I could see giving them a fit is, again, the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's just so hard to stop that offense. But I can see it, man. I can see another AFC Championship game of the Chiefs versus the Oilers in Kansas City.
And I'll be there. And we run it back. I'll be there.
Hey, X.
But anyways, what's up?
Are you surprised that Mr. Discount Double Check is doing as well as he is this year?
Because of the lack of weapons? Is that where you're asking that?
Yes.
No, I'm not, because he's that dude.
He is.
He's that dude. So,
Yeah.
When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, that's greatness. See, the thing. Now we can say that topic for another day, because I actually I saw a meme earlier when it says Tom Brady is Michael Jordan and Aaron Rodgers is LeBron James. I don't know if we can really say that or not. When it comes to people want to say Michael Jordan is the GOAT because of 6 rings, six MVPs. People say that about Brady, and the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. People say Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback. Might not be the most accomplished, but he might be the most talented. Same thing with LeBron. Might not be the most accomplished, but he is probably the most talented NBA player or whatnot. So that's what people are kind of equating that to.
I don't wholeheartedly disagree with that. Like, that's
I can entertain that conversation.
Yeah. So like I said, that's another topic we'll talk about. I want to hold that up right now. We'll talk about that another time. But I'll just wrap it up with, I'm not surprised with Aaron Rodgers doing what he's doing. The question is is he going to stay in Green Bay or does he go somewhere else? Because it doesn't seem like Green Bay as an organization is helping him get to where he wants to be.
Well, I think that's why he's playing so well. It's because they
he wants to get out of here.
I think they went and drafted Jordan Love, and I think he's got that mentality of, oh, you want to go draft somebody to replace me? Let me show y'all what I can do. And he's stepped in, and I mean, he looks scary.
I think he's eventually going to the 49ers in the future. I don't know why.
49ers.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I wouldn't be surprised at all because he is a Bay Area kid. He did grow up loving the 49ers. I would not be surprised at all. That is a great team to bring up, Greg. Let's keep an eye out on that one.
I have a conspiracy theory that he's good. He's going to go to the 49ers.
I like that, Greg. I like that. Let's go ahead and keep that up. And also, Christine says, what about Russ? Now, great job bringing it up. Russ, Aaron Rodgers, and I know I missed Patrick Mahomes. Those are 3 quarterbacks that are in their own class right now. That is it. Do not add Lamar Jackson. Do not add Deshaun Watson. Do not add Tom Brady. It is those 3, and everybody else is behind them. We all agreeing on that?
On the show
we did talk about that on the show yesterday. Yes, we did.
About Russ and how well he did. And
yes, we did. So, again, if you want to hear about what we talked about, you can go ahead and check out that previous episode because we definitely did talk about
Make sure
Russ.
you go check that.
Yes, sir.
Isn't Rodgers having the better statistical year out of all 3 of them, though? Right?
At this point in time, I don't have the stats in front of me to say yes or no to that. Because at the end of the day, is all I'm pretty sure everybody worried about is the W and
Wins
the
and
L.
losses.
Yeah.
And then going back to the Sports Plug episode, X pretty much eloquently stated that it's still a preseason, basically. Still a preseason. Yeah. So it's too early in the season to say what the stats look like. Because, I mean, based on X's point, which is a very logical point, still it's preseason. They only play like 4 games. So.
And thank you for bringing that up, seriously, though, Greg, because even in seasons past before COVID, games 1 through 4 to me, weeks 1 through 4 to me was still preseason. I still felt like, guys, because we've seen in seasons past, even with your Houston Texans, where they will start off and still win the division and make them make a little noise in the playoffs. But now, with the way COVID is and everything's going on at the NFL, you do not want to get into a hole like this right now because it doesn't seem like it's that easy to get out of. And I'm not talking about just the Texans. I'm talking about any other of these teams that feel like, even though we're 1-3 or 0-4, we can have a chance to come back. I don't know. This year a little bit different. So
the only team I can say that about is the Cowboys and anybody in the NFC East. That has that mentality.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and stick with NFL football, and we are going to, of course, stick with the Houston Texans. And if you are in Houston, of course, you've heard the big news, not just the Astros, of course, advancing to the ALDS, but also Bill O'Brien getting fired from the Houston Texans, which has probably been a long-awaited thing for my Houston friends. But what's also have been coming out report-wise is apparently J.J. Watt was the one that led a player revolt that was probably the straw on the camel's back that made Bill O'Brien have to exit the Houston Texans. So, we'll start it off with you since you were going to, talk about this on the last topic. So go ahead and start it off.
What I was going to say was I was going to piggyback off of the statement that Greg had made about staying optimistic as far as the future of the organization. But like I was about to start saying, I know it's not easy replacing a head coach / general manager. So that's 2 positions that have to be filled by competent people. That I think it's going to take time to get the right person in their role. So maybe it'll be a kind of a revolving door thing until they get the right fit. Also, organization-wise, the Texans don't have no picks in this next draft. So the trash team that we have now is the trash team we're going to have without an adequate head coach and a general manager. So I think it's extremely bleak the next couple seasons for the Texans. That's pretty much where I was going with that.
Now, can I piggyback on right quick on what Sire just said? Like he said, not just for right now, but the future of the Texans is what you really have to look at because who was the main guy that just left because of whatever situation he had with Bill O'Brien that made him leave and made him get traded? And that was DeAndre Hopkins, right? Well,
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins actually tweeted because Cal McNair, the owner of the Texans, went on Sports Radio 610 here in Houston, and apparently there was a quote that Cal McNair says about the DeAndre Hopkins trade, and DeAndre Hopkins says, "Since I am my own agent, I guess I can speak on my client's departure." He calls Cal Kyle. "You never respond to my client when he thanked you after his departure. My client never asked for a new deal. He asked for a Band-Aid deal, which means a little raise. My client is very happy in Arizona, by the way," which a tweet has since deleted, of course. But what I'm getting at is the free agents that the Houston Texans probably could get. Are those things kind of cease and desist because of the bad blood of the players that have left, like a Tyrann Mathieu or Dwayne Brown? Some of these guys that have left the organization, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they tell other free agents, which I've heard in the past, years ago, don't come to Houston because of this, that, and the third. Do you guys think it will affect the Houston Texans moving forward?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Tyrann Mathieu, I don't think that he left with bad blood. But another deal that a lot of people are forgetting, Jadeveon Clowney, he was traded away for aging tackle. I mean, too many players getting traded away because of personal vendettas or whatever. And I appreciate you, X, bringing that comment up, because one thing I know, when we had our special on a Sports Plug, I talked about how I was ready for Bill O'Brien to go. Bill O'Brien should have went a long time ago. And I hear a lot of people talking about Bill O'Brien. I don't hear enough people talking about Cal McNair. Cal McNair, you, sir, are a perfect example of a person who should not be granted anything as far as ownership. Like, you have been the most passive owner that I have ever seen. You have sat around, allowed Bill O'Brien to worm his way into becoming the general manager, to make terrible trade after terrible trade, to sign these, terrible free agents. And then you gonna come out now and try to make it seem like you had the fans' best interests at heart when you were getting rid of Bill O'Brien? Like, no, you got rid of Bill O'Brien because it was starting to become bad for business. Because everybody was done with it. Because J.J. Watt was done with it. The players themselves, the whole team, and the assistants done with it. Cal McNair is a problem, and he will continue to be a problem because he's the owner. And so we will continue to have an issue with players leaving, not getting the kind of contracts they need, if he does not show the kind of interest he needs to show in the team, and make sure that when you have somebody that is not performing, like Bill O'Brien was not performing as the GM, that you will step in and do what is right for that team. He doesn't care about that organization. All he cares about is about y'all going and buying the tickets and buying concession stands, stuff at the concession stands or whatever. He don't care if they win or lose. Let's be honest.
He's like the reverse of Jerry Jones.
That's exactly where I was going. I'm happy you brought that up. Yeah. No, he is the little brother of Jerry Jones. The Texans haven't won anything. At least the Cowboys have won Super Bowls. You feel me? At least in Jerry Jones' tenure, at least they won Super Bowls. So at least they can hang their hat on that. But like it said, it kind of seems like you've been given this team because of your father passing, but because you're in charge and you were watching your father do what he do, it seemed like you didn't learn anything. You as an individual that own this team, you have to go out and make the right hires this upcoming time, because this time could be very detrimental for JJ when JJ Watt is about to retire, and also for depending on if Deshaun Watson is going to re-sign in 3 years, if you're going to stay in Houston. That is the biggest thing, because if they lose Deshaun Watson, don't get me wrong, they can replace him. It is what it is. Everybody has to get replaced. But I mean, it seems like Houston as an organization have a lot of talent, and they lose out on them and go to other places and shine. I wouldn't be surprised if Deshaun Watson leaves and goes to the Las Vegas Raiders in 3 or 4 years and win a Super Bowl with the Raiders.
It's a damn shame, man. It's disappointing because since the Oilers, the actual Houston Oilers, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was the last home game that the Oilers played. And my pops took me, and I got to see Eddie George do his thing. And at that time, I'm a young and I'm not really into sports. So I kind of know what's going on though. But the atmosphere was just super dope. You know what I'm saying, and it was like I felt why my pops and my uncles and brothers got so excited about football, about Houston football, Houston sports. You know what I'm saying, and I have not ever felt that way since the Texans have been here. And it's for me, it's a very disheartening thing. Houston franchises as a whole, it's a fucking roller coaster ride. But the Texans though, yeah, it's tough. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Astros are making people happy if you are a baseball fan. The Rockets, of course, are letting you down round by round every year, depending on what round they want to disappoint you in. And of course, the Texans, they do what they do. But I'll say this: it's a new day. It's 2020. Things start over. Houston as a city of sports can change the way people look at them over this next 5 to 10 years, depending on what they do on the football field, baseball, diamond, basketball court. Right? That's how I see it. I mean, look at Toronto. Look at Toronto with the Raptors. Everybody thought. I mean, not everybody thought, but people looked at Toronto as a joke. I mean, nobody really took the Raptors seriously, and you win one championship, and you got a little.
Drake knew he built that.
He built a little bit of it. You got to give him a little bit of credit, though. Seriously, you got to give Drake a little credit.
Drake get credits for the Raptors. The Raptors.
When it comes to marketing wise, when it comes to helping the Raptors, as in get looked at a different way, because when we looked at the Raptors, the last time we even took the Raptors seriously was Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter days.
Yeah, Vince Carter.
I don't necessarily think specifically it was to the Raptors. I think he shed the light on Toronto, and it was a trickle down effect. So obviously, the Raptors are the major sports team there, the Blue Jays and all that stuff. But
and who's Raptors, the main team there is, and you're forgetting, Greg. What is that major sport there in Canada?
Hockey,
Thank you,
You're right.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
I thought you were talking about the Argonauts.
Anyways, that's Canadian football for the ones that don't know.
Yeah.
All right, well. Looks like we're about to wrap this up. And before we get up out of here, let's go ahead and give Sire that black happy birthday. Hey, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. That was kind of trash.
Yeah, that was definitely trash by Greg.
I feel worse.
Was it? I was clapping for real.
I feel worse. I don't feel the seller. I feel worse now. Thank you, guys. Crazy.
Damn, Greg, you some trash. Well, sorry for making your birthday.
Man, you should have just let Brett do it at the beginning.
And Christine also wanted to let you know happy birthday, brother. So
you're not gonna read the YouTube comment? You're not gonna read the YouTube comment? No.
You should. I mean, do y'all want me to?
Read the YouTube
comment.
Please read the YouTube comment.
Apparently, 45 says Trump is done. I don't know who that is. Man, but it looks like a bot to me.
We got trolls coming in,
bro. We got trolls coming. So on Twitter and YouTube, baby. We up, baby. But anyways, we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Back on Wednesday again, and Napoleon will be back. Yes, sir. See you on another episode of Kinfolk and Nem.